What's your name? How do you pronounce your name?
Gemma Bernadette Kits.
Gemma.
Yeah.
All right. So I was impressed by your speech yesterday because you were the only female speaker. Well, in addition to the introducer, and you're quite young. How old are you?
I'm 15.
All right. So how come a 15-year-old girl wants to speak at the event you were at yesterday? What inspired you to do it?
I think what inspired me was Ruben, actually, because 2 years ago at the event I was his speech really. I liked his speeches. I love his speeches because he's so expressive and he really expresses what he believes in, and that inspired me to do the same.
Right. So how and when did you become interested in these issues?
When I was 13, actually.
Yeah.
Or 12 even. I was at the first Torchlight March when I was 12.
Right. Can you describe some of the impressions you had and the emotions and thoughts?
I was in the middle of the crowds with a torch.
Right.
People next to me were singing. They were singing Estonian songs about Estonian nature, Estonian spirit. And that made me feel a certain way. That made me feel like I belonged there. It made me understand that I truly love it. And that made me understand that those are the kind of people I can really be myself with and express myself with.
Right.
Yeah.
So I mean, do you have like a spirituality or something, or is it like a religion, or what is your worldview?
I don't like to call it a religion, but and I don't like to call it pagan, but I am pagan. Estonian. I believe in Estonian mythology because it's not really mythology. It's what our forefathers believed in. It's what they saw every day.
Can you describe it for me?
It's the religion of nature. It's the belief in what nature does. It's the belief in the force, in the energy of the spirit of nature.
Right.
And that itself is fascinating.
Yeah.
And when I'm in nature, I feel that, I see that, and that's what I believe in. It's the force that I believe in.
And were you brought up in your family in this religion or this faith or this tradition, or is this something you discovered?
No, my parents were very strictly Catholic, but I lived in a forest for most of my life, and that's...
You lived on the countryside.
Yeah. And that really affected it. Like, I went to church and all, but what I every day saw in nature, that was the only thing I actually believed in. Yeah.
So, are most people in Estonia Catholics, or what is the most common religion here?
The common... Well, no, I think Protestants, but Estonia is like one of the least religious countries in Estonia. But the thing is, every Estonian practices Estonian paganism without realizing that it's paganism.
How do you mean?
Like those traditions, everyone practices those traditions, those things, and.
But in what way do they practice the traditions?
The language, the jokes, the little things, the little everyday things that we like as Estonians. The cultural things actually come from that.
Right.
And inside jokes that Estonians have, words, sentences that are passed on that people use commonly, catchphrases.
Yeah.
And those things, they come from that. Right. And people use them every day, and they use them. They use them with a purpose. Yeah. But they don't actually know that it is that ancient paganism that their forefathers had.
Right.
Yeah. And that I think expresses, that I think shows that Estonians actually by their nature are connected to nature.
Right. And what is the difference? What is the major difference in your impression or your in your ideas between the Christian faith and this other Estonian faith that you described? What is the major difference?
Oh, the easy way to explain is that in Christianism there's this God. There's this one God that like maybe exists, and that one God is also like separate from us. That's different from us. Well, he could be human, but like he resembles humans, but like he's different from us. He's better from us, and that is the main difference. Because in like nature religions, you don't like worship something that is different from you. You actually worship something that is already like resonates with you, that is inside you. Those same characteristics are inside of you, not some like strange thing somewhere else.
Right.
And that's the difference. Also, original sin. Like, what the heck?
Yeah. What do you think about that?
Like, that's a long story. I don't think like humans obviously have bad things. Like, but it's just essential. There's got to be a balance in that. And Christians, the another big difference is that Christians see good and bad as something entirely different from each other, but they're not. They're really not opposites. They're like, there's got to be a balance between that. They're not opposites.
So this spirituality. I mean, the event that you spoke at yesterday was a metapolitical, ideological, metapolitical event.
Yeah.
So how does this belief connect to politics or metapolitics?
I think it connects. In my speech, I spoke about. I described it as a force, as a spirit that unites us all. It's that thing that makes us defend what is ours, our country, and I think that thing is that connects to it because it's what I feel when I play the Jaw Harp, for example, my hobby.
Yeah.
It's that thing that connects me to nature, but it's that thing that essentially makes you protect your country, your home.
Right.
And that's how it can be connected to politics.
Yeah.
Because in politics, us nationalists protect our country.
Right.
And I'm just describing why and how we protect it.
Right.
Why and like how what that thing is that makes us protect it.
Right. And I mean, you described that your family is very Catholic.
Yeah.
And now you have another faith.
Yeah.
And you speak at an event. How have they reacted?
My father used to be like. Actually, my father, for example, he didn't react exactly. He didn't react badly, but like. I think the reason he didn't react badly was because I have affected him with my like religion.
Really?
Yeah, I have made him see that.
So he hasn't just protested; he's actually accepted some of your views.
but because I haven't like made him accept them, I just have explained to him why I believe it, and I just told him that it's the thing that our ancestors believed in, and that made him accept it because he respects our ancestors.
Right.
And like I think I affected him into like accepting my speech.
And I mean, many people become nationalists because they feel that things they hold dear, their identity and their traditions are threatened.
Yeah.
Would you say, and in that case, how is the Estonian identity threatened? Are the Estonian traditions threatened?
Yes, they are.
In what way?
They are because in the same way that everyone else's traditions are like being destroyed and are destroyed, like the same way in which Swedes and Finns are being destroyed right now. That thing is coming to Estonia. It's not yet here. It's in other countries and it's not yet here. It hasn't arrived yet, but it's arriving, and that's why we're in danger.
And one thing that I liked about your speech was also the way you dressed. It looked like some traditional style, like with the decorations you have around your your neck. What can you tell me something about them? Because I mean, I and basically all the other speakers, I was wearing a suit and a tie, and I could be a person from America, from Spain, from Italy, from Sweden, or from Singapore or Japan, because everyone just wears the same styles of suits. But you wore something that sort of looked traditional somehow. Can you tell me something about like the jewelry? And
I can tell you about the symbolism. This is a Jaw Harp. It's actually broken a bit. I can play it still, but this is a Jaw Harp, and I wear it because I always like to carry one with me.
Right.
Because it feels right. It's like people see it even, and they like see, oh, she plays Jaw Harp. That's nice. Mm-hmm. And this one, I have worn this for over a year, every single day. I don't know. I have this one. It's a symbol of the moon and of the sea. Actually, these things are the waves and the bubbles, and like why it's a symbol of the moon is because the moon affects the sea with tides and that stuff.
Yeah.
And this just feels like me, and I think if I don't dress like me, if I don't dress comfortable like what I believe, like, then I feel uncomfortable. Like, then it's not right.
Yeah.
Then I'm just not presenting what I am. I'm presenting something else.
Yeah, sure. And obviously you said you're 15, which means that you're probably in school, in high school, or whatever it's called. How are people encouraging you, your classmates and your friends? Are they encouraging your participation in this, or what do they say?
They don't really encourage it, but I encourage them. It's like they literally don't know anything about it, and I am the one that is there and is like, oh hey, you should come to Blue Awakenings events, and I am the one that encourages them.
Right.
Yeah.
So I mean, you're obviously very confident in order to do that. Many people would be very nervous to stand in front of a crowd, especially people coming from everywhere, gathering and so on. So where does that courage or that confidence and courage, where does it come from?
It comes from when I stop thinking about how I will give my speech.
Yeah.
When I stop thinking what people will think of it.
Yes. When
I just tune into the things that made me write the speech. When I speak it from my entire being, when I stop thinking what it is, and when I just give people something to think about. When I make people feel something.
Yeah.
It doesn't come from just saying words. It comes from when I feel something.
Yeah.
And that's how I was actually really nervous before my speech.
Of course. Yeah.
But the instant I started speaking, it just vanished. Because I started feeling again what I felt when I wrote the speech.
Right.
And that was how I was so confident. I am so confident.
And obviously you spoke about Jaw Harp.
Yeah.
Which is a very interesting, and I like it because it's very interesting. It's not like a dry political subject. It is cultural. It's more rooted in a way. Can you tell me something about what the Jaw Harp is? Because probably many of our listeners or viewers will not really know what a Jaw Harp is. Can you tell us what it is and sort of why you spoke about the Jaw Harp.
Well, the Jaw Harp essentially is a trance instrument, but it's not just a trance. It was used by it's a traditional instrument.
Right.
It's like it's like other traditional instruments. Like what do you have in your country? Like traditional instruments.
Well, in Sweden, for example, nyckelharpa, which is we actually saw a woman playing it. It's like you have like I don't know what you call it. Like you play it like a sort of violin, but you press buttons.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's called in English. I just know the Swedish word, which is nyckelharpa.
So this is exactly like that.
Right.
Like it's exactly like that. And why I play it. What more there is to this is that it's not just like it's a trance instrument, and it was used by like spiritual leaders,
right?
And it is used by them, and it's used by shamans practically, and it's used as a way to express, like every musical instrument is used to express your feelings in some way. Music is that, but this thing is used to create trance. It's not just like to express your feelings, but to make others feel a certain way. Well, all music is essentially that, but this is great. Is like specifically for that.
And is there is there a living tradition of that in Estonia? Are people practicing this shamanism?
Yes,
really?
yes, they are. It's called Mausk, and it translates to religion of the land practically, of nature. Yeah. And that's Estonian paganism. Yeah. And those like paganism spiritual leaders, shamans, as to say, these play this.
Well, can you say the word again, Laos?
Mausk.
Mausk. All right. Yeah, I'm not familiar with it since before, but so that is a very typical Estonian instrument, is it?
Well, yeah, but not many people really practice it.
Right.
Like the only people I know that practice this instrument like well and that can play it well are spiritual people, like people that not necessarily spiritual, but like people that know what they are doing, what this is for.
Right.
Yeah, not just for boing, 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 but for like bigger things.
It's not just entertainment. It actually has like a deeper value.
Yeah.
Would you say like generally that there's a lack of spirituality in society?
In modern society, yes.
Yeah.
But
in what way?
I don't think it's a lack of it. I think it's just not spoken of. It's forgotten, and I think it's in everyone. Everyone has it, but it's just it's been hidden. It's like hidden, but it's hidden practically. That's why there's a lack of it.
And instruments like that and this sort of spiritual practice can bring it out again.
Yeah.
Good.
That brought it out in me. Like when I started playing, I didn't even realize what this thing was for. But then I continued playing. I started liking it, and then I started realizing what it's for.
Interesting. Well, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
It's been interesting interviewing you.
Thank you.
Okay.